Hello everyone, I'm Kim Swecker with Norfolk Master Gardeners, here to take you on a native plant tour of Knitting Mill Creek Community Garden. This little oasis is right in the middle of a bustling urban area in the historic neighborhood of Colonial Place in Norfolk, Virginia. Now that we have the formalities out of the way, let's start the tour. To greet our visitors from the street, we come to the entry to the garden, marked by a lovely arch that is planted with a beautiful, spring-blooming, climbing yellow rose, the Lady Banks rose. There is also a sign on the post of the arbor that announces that this garden is an official monarch butterfly way station, meaning that this space is an intentionally managed garden that provides food and habitat for the struggling monarch butterfly population. As a rule, a way station must provide at least 2 types of milkweed, the host plant for monarchs. We have that in spades. When we first step into the garden, we are greeted by lots of different pollinator-friendly plants: mint, rosemary, lavender, and other herbs, as well as nectar plants, sunflower, and a sizable stand of our native echinacea or coneflower. This garden literally buzzes with all the bees it attracts. Continuing down the path, we have 2 maturing native Calicarpus americana or beautyberry shrubs. Shrubs are the backbone of a healthy landscape that provide a transition from lower growing herbaceous plants and ground cover to understory and high canopy trees. They not only provide beauty to the landscape, but food and shelter for our pollinators and important species that help make up our native food web. Who says natives aren't showy? This knock-your-socks-off beauty is the crimson-eyed rose mallow, a member of the hibiscus family. The blade of grass in the bottom left of the frame gives you some perspective of just how big these blossoms are. Further along, we come to one of several stands of zinnias. Even though these plants aren't native, they provide an important source of nectar for our monarch and black swallowtail butterflies. And remember that goldfinches absolutely adore their seeds. Even Doug Tallamy says to make a little space in your native plant garden for these beautiful annuals. Directly across from the zinnias, we have a large planting of solidago or goldenrod. This fall flowering native brings color to the garden when many other spring and summer plants are beginning to fade. They attract bees, butterflies, and other pollinators, and they support the greatest number of caterpillars of any of our wildflowers, 112 caterpillar species. They're the oak tree of wildflowers. Keep in mind that one parent bird brings a caterpillar to the nest every 3 minutes for 14 hours for 16 to 18 days. This turns out to be 6,000 to 9,000 caterpillars to fledge a clutch of chickadees. So think about planting some goldenrod. The oaks could use a little bit of help. Now let's shift our gaze to take a peek at these pretty clumps of mountain mint. This perennial is native to the entire United States. It's not invasive like many of its relatives and can be easily controlled by pruning the roots with a spade to keep the clumps from spreading. It has pretty pink flowers and the butterflies love them. Across the path is one of our native milkweeds, the common milkweed. It is a perennial forb and is one of the favorite monarch butterfly host plants. You can see where the caterpillars have been chomping away. Also sharing this bed is one of the host plants for our native black swallowtail butterfly, fennel. The caterpillars love to munch their way to the pretty yellow umbels after they've stripped the tender leaves along the tall stalks. In the shady part of the garden, we have a medium understory tree, the sassafras tree. This is also the area of the high canopy part of our garden. It's made up of native water oak and sweet gum trees. Rudbeckia hirta is a native favorite of humans and pollinators alike. It puts on a show of yellow daisy-like flowers from June to October. This Rudbeckia shares the All-American demonstration garden with world-tested annuals, perennials, and vegetables. We're thrilled to have them at Knitting Mill Creek. As we look back across the demonstration garden, our tour comes to an end. We hope you've enjoyed our oasis in the city. If you're in the neighborhood, please take a moment to stroll through our garden, have a seat in the shade, and just enjoy all that nature brings.